Here we are at reflection time. Today we'll join a huge crowd of people following Jesus. He sees their hurts and pains and cares for them in many ways. He leads them to a mountain. Let's climb the mountain together. Remember, there are many ways we can climb a mountain. You can hike. You can climb with a rope. You can roll using your hiking wheelchair. Or you can climb by yourself or with a friend, grabbing rocks up and down. Can you pick a way to climb the mountain? Try one that's different from the way you did it last week. Are you ready? Set. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Whew. We made it. Let's find a seat and settle our bodies after that big climb. In your imagination, let's look around and see what we can see. Grab a set of imaginary binoculars, or place your hands over your brow and take a look around. What do you see on the mountain? In Jesus' time, people believed that mountains were holy and special places to be with God, maybe because they reached so high up into the sky. Jesus told them about God's kingdom on this mountain. You can think of a kingdom as the way the world works or is set up. In God's kingdom, there is abundance, more than enough honor, food, money, love, power, and resources for every child of God to thrive. Jesus says, "Blessed are you when people revile you or persecute you for all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven. For in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you." Jesus ends his Beatitudes with a strong word of encouragement for us. In those final words of Jesus' blessings, Jesus said his followers would be blessed in facing persecution. He knew this might be one of the toughest, hardest things keeping people from living out God's abundant love. Jesus told his listeners if it wasn't a matter of if they were persecuted, but when. He knew when they tried to follow out and live his teachings, they would lose friends, be disliked, hear people say bad things about them, or experience other harm. We know that to follow Jesus is to face what he faced, and Jesus experienced all of these things. But the good news is that we are not alone. In this beatitude, Jesus points to the prophets, amazing and dedicated leaders who sided with the voiceless and the powerless. They faced a lot of persecution. Can you think of some prophets from the Bible? What about Elijah, Jeremiah, and Daniel? What about modern day prophets? Have you heard about Martin Luther King? If you haven't, look all those up and you will see people who would be called prophets. We are joining with people from the ancient past and the recent present, and people all over the world today. We are joining with children, teenagers, adults, and older adults. We join with people who want to create a world where people can live freely and without fear. We have to do it together. We need to keep humble hearts and attitudes because there may be times that we misunderstand and persecute others. Yep, sometimes we are the ones on the wrong side of a decision. Can you believe it? We are always learning and growing. Everyone has different experiences and perspectives. When we don't understand why someone does something, we need to ask questions rather than make judgments. Jesus told us to rejoice when we are persecuted. Does that make sense to you? Do you rejoice when people misunderstand you or say mean things to you? It isn't easy. But Jesus reminds us that when we make brave choices, even if they're unpopular choices, we are creating a world that looks more like God's home. We have a whole family of faith who is with us, people who followed God thousands of years ago, and people today who are with us as we follow in faith. And that is worth celebrating. Yay!